Zaslow seems happy. That's the best the Panthers can play, right? They cannot play better than that. Just suffocate, strangle Draisaitl and McDavid, and make my analysis hours earlier seem spectacularly loud wrong when I said with great conviction, we all know, right, that Edmonton is the one that can win a 6-1 game, not Florida.
Well, it is the best they can play, but it's also the worst that the Oilers can play. They were terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I thought it was a wacky game. Like, I don't even know if I would call that the best the Panthers could play. So many power plays. The third period was just chaos. The second period was the only period that actually felt like a hockey game. That first period, Evander Kane, Roy, what is he doing? What a loser.
I mean, he's out there trying to hurt people. It's not like his performance in game one where his physicality made a difference. He was out there swinging his stick trying to hit people.
I feel like 80% of that third period, that happens to every team. When there's a blowout in a playoff game, it's going to get chippy. 20% of that was over the line, Roy. Are we going to look at any suspensions here?
No. There might be a fine for Wallman's spraying of the water bottle across the bench.
What a loser move.
So wait, Ed, there was 1,000 fights, 800 late hits, and we're finding the guy who squirted the water bottle 3 feet to the other side and missed it.
He went across the line.
Yeah, can't do that.
Well, you with the made-up stat, 20%. Like, where are you coming up with? If that had happened during a basketball game, the news coverage for a month would have been how out of control the NBA is. If simply some of those fights.
But I'm telling you, when you get a game that gets to be 4-1, 5-1 in the playoffs, a lot of what you saw last night is going to happen with any two teams. Like,
Chris,
you are going to get a team that is just needing what, Dominique?
You called it chippy. Like, that wasn't chippy. Unless you're talking about people chipping teeth. It wasn't chippy. Like, they were actually, there was blood, there was tongues out, there were fists being thrown. It wasn't chippy.
I swear that wasn't that uncommon in a blowout playoff game.
Okay,
I think you're wrong.
You got to be specific. A blowout playoff hockey game. Like, that is out of control.
There were a few
any other major sport.
Like the way Frederick went after Bennett, that was over the line. There were a few there were 3 or 4 things where I'm like, they should take a look at that. But outside of that, it was just blowout chippiness. I just want you to be
clear that it's hockey. Because, like, if this happened in soccer, if one punch was thrown in the MLS or in the NFL or in NBA, like, we can't call it chippy. Like, it feels like you are appreciating how violent that hockey match was or hockey game was, because that's not chippy.
This description of his is because what's been normalized is the barbaric savagery that is that sport this time of year. So Chris Cody feels comfortable, Cheeto crumbs on his hand, saying they should take a look at that when someone's hitting someone else with a stick.
Yeah. I mean, Kachuk got speared.
and Chris is like, sure is chippy. Can someone take a look at that? That looked chippy.
Yeah, and they aren't. I just asked Roy. He's like, maybe there'll be a fine. They aren't even going to take a look at it.
I was complaining about the walk-in because I'm not tough enough to walk in from the parking lot. Take a look at that. It looks chippy down there. No, they hate each other. They're fighting for the cup, and hockey allows these people to be more primitive than any athletes roaming the earth and gives them blades on their feet.
Dan, how does anyone with a straight face, I mean, look, Dominique, you play in the NFL. How does anyone with a straight face watch what happened last night and then still try and say the Stanley Cup is not the hardest trophy to win in sports?
Well, what happened last night, it was a 6-1 blowout. So you're trying to argue to me that it's the hardest thing to win just because it's really chippy?
But like Matthew Tkachuk is saying after the game yesterday, we talked about this in the third period, you know, if you got to take a punch in the face, do whatever you got to do. There's a bigger picture here.
I mean, we're saying this after, I hope we get into this at some point, but Frank Ragnow fractured his throat.
That's right.
So you get out of here with that.
Yes.
I generally hate the people that, like, fall in love with their sport so much that they try to, like, argue that other people's sports are worse. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, football is so much better because I played football. Like, the people who say, this is our game, we got to protect our game. Like, I'm not that guy. I don't own any of this stuff. However, what I will not stand for is someone trying to tell me that there is something out there that is more dangerous. I'll give you equally, but there's nothing more dangerous. He is 300 pounds and someone fractured his throat.
Yeah, that USA Today story on how it is that Armstead retires early in football. Dominique allowed us to get away with this yesterday. He hadn't been here in a while, and so he allowed us to get away with saying that's the toughest trophy to win yesterday. Today, he's not having it.
Fractured his throat, and he never even played in the Super Bowl. Armstead tore up his knee in his 3rd year and said he never practiced again because he couldn't move his leg without painkillers. He only took painkillers on game day, and he played for, 13 years? Yeah. Fractured?
Yeah, his throat.
Fractured?
Yeah, his throat.
His throat.
Hey, yo.
I didn't know.
Thank you, Tony.
Did you
I
know
wanted
that?
to be respectful.
Did you know that could? Did you know that was a thing at Le Batard Show? Did you know you could fracture your throat? Because the most painful injury I had ever heard in sports before was a Mariners catcher on a foul tip who fractured his testicle. Ooh. I did not know a testicle could be fractured.
Worst thing to fracture.
I think it just ruptures, Dan. I don't think you can fracture it. I think it explodes on contact.
I understand. That's
Oh, God.
sort of what I thought as well. But no, you can indeed fracture a testicle.
Put it on the poll, I think.
Exploded worse or fractured worse?
I mean, honestly, this may come as a surprise to you guys, but whether it's exploded or fractured, I'd rather that down there than fracture my throat. I got 3 kids. I'm done. You can have one of them.
Yeah, but what if you had 0?
Not the kids, the testicles.
Put it on the poll. What's worse, fractured throat or fractured testicle? Because think about that one for a second. I think instantaneously you might go testicle, and then you think about eating and breathing and stuff, and fractured throat seems terrible.
Yeah, I think if you fractured your throat, you'd be afraid that you're going to die. If you fracture your testicle, I'd be like, oh, this really hurts, but I'm not going to die.
I mean, do you want to live, though?
Do I want to try it? I don't know.
Dominique, so you're objecting officially to the idea, it's not consensus for you, that this is the hardest trophy to win in sports?
I mean, I don't care what is the hardest. I don't think it's the hardest. We can go through a bunch of different sports and different things test you in different ways. However, I thought last night's game was incredibly fun and funny. And yeah, those guys, I'm not going to say hockey players aren't tough. They're tough as hell. But what I won't have happen is you guys try to subjugate other athletes and say, you know what?
No one's saying football players aren't tough, though.
Oh, no. I don't need your validation.
Okay, good.
I'll subjugate them.
Oh, he will over there. Take a look at that. You guys might want. It's getting chippy
Look,
down there.
Marshawn agreed with me. They talked to him after the game. He's like, look, in a blowout game, that 3rd period, a lot of that stuff is going to, Zaz, a lot of that stuff is going to happen in a 3rd period of a blowout playoff game.
I don't agree for a couple reasons. Number one, we didn't see that last year, and we went 7 games, all right? And it's the same team. And number two, how many times, and you could talk about this in the regular season too, are you getting a line fight? Not a line scrum. We had a line fight.
Nurse and Gadjo fought for 4 minutes.
Well, chippy down there. They should take a look at that. Imagine a 4-minute fight in the NBA. Imagine just 4 minutes of fighting in the NBA. What we'd be doing in the coverage of that today.
Wouldn't it be great if the Pacers get blown out tomorrow night and with 3 minutes left of the game, all 5 guys, they all square off at different points of the court and they just fight.
Because it happened with Bennett, that altercation. So then what happens in those things is everyone kind of just gets somebody. It's I'm going to grab somebody. And Nurse ended up with Gadjevich, and Nurse is I want no part of this. So he just, for 4 minutes, was just trying to. I honestly felt bad for Nurse about 3 minutes into that. I'm just stop this already.
Was the entire fight time of the Malice in the Palace equal to 4 minutes? Or no?
No. It echoed for decades because Steven Jackson looked like that for 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
For 3 seconds, he looked like that. Never mind 3 and 4 minutes of fighting. It spilled into the stands, and the National Guard was called in.
Can you imagine if the hockey fights spilled into the stands?
That's happened a few times, but what we saw last night, I don't want to wander too far away in the noise and the fireworks and the silliness from the Panthers put it on Edmonton. Edmonton did play poorly, but that was also done to them. McDavid and Draisaitl don't look like that very often. Draisaitl actually looked like that an awful lot last postseason, which I think in retrospect we could say that he was hurt. But that was strangled out of Edmonton last night, and it was done a minute into the game. A minute into the game, the announcement is you're going to be trailing all night. You're going to be chasing this all night. And they can. Edmonton is good enough offensively, but when their power play does nothing, doesn't even produce reasonable chances, and then it turns into an all-out fight, and the Panthers are the only ones scoring, you get the best game the Panthers can play. They can't play better than that. Doing that to this team, both offensively and defensively in that game, there is no better game that the Panthers have played the last 3 seasons than that one.
Yeah, they have 2 games left to win, but honestly, it's looking like either Sam Bennett or Brad Marchand is going to win.
Let's cool it on the Conn Smythe talk. Again, 2 more games. Come on, 2 more games.
You got to look at how Sam Bennett is. He's leading the league right now.
I get it, but 2 more games.
You know what? Thank you, Zaz, because Roy, I saw this happen this morning, and it made me sad. Look, Dominique knows what I'm talking about.
What's going on there, Chuckles?
Dominique comes in here today, and he sees Roy, and he says to Roy, heartfelt and joyous, congratulations.
It's not over. He got mad at me. He looked me in the eye and said, it's not over.
Right, so I'm surprised that now he's trying to count Conn Smythe votes.
Nah, he's a media member. He's preparing. He has to think about all this stuff heading up to making these decisions.
He's mad Dworky has a vote and he doesn't.
Yeah, I am.
Is that true?
Well, it's my first year in the Professional Hockey Writers Association, and I got 1 vote this year, and that's for Masterton.
Which one is that?
That's the dedication to hockey.
I didn't even know what that meant. Tell Dominique what that is.
That's dedication to hockey.
Doesn't sound like a big one.
I don't understand. All of us were like, you were very proud of that vote, and all of us are like, that's a nice vote. What vote is that?
It's dedication to hockey.
So how do you assess who's the most dedicated?
Well, it's not really a person who comes back from injury, like somebody who's retiring, like a Pat Maroon.
Who'd you vote for?
I love Roy, like at the arena,
Florida.
seeing who gets there early. Lundell here early, good. Like keeping notes. It's like...
It wasn't. I didn't vote for him.
I don't like how he's disrespecting your vote back there.
I'm more disrespecting the award, like the dedication award.
Take a look at that over there.
They should take a look at that.
Why should they take a look at it, Chris?
Because there was we broke them mentally late in that game. As much as I'm saying a lot of that was expected, a lot of it wasn't. It was ridiculous.
And to be fair,
my daughter was there. I was sitting next to my daughter.
I
was shielding her eyes.
Oh, because your daughter was there. Oh my gosh, we shouldn't have a line
shielding her eyes.
because your daughter's there.
I was shielding her eyes from that.
My daughter was there?
It made me like, huh. She's like, Daddy, why are they doing that? I'm like, because we've broken them mentally. That's why we're doing that, Graceland.
All right. Are you as uncomfortable as I am with him saying we've broken them mentally?
I was disgusted. And, I mean, to be clear, what really hurt me about me congratulating Roy and Roy's response was I was congratulating Roy on the successful BET Awards last night, and Roy was like, we're not done yet. It is done. Kendrick got all the awards, Roy. Congratulations to you and me. We did it.
Yeah, we did do it. We did it.
We did do it.
The second America did it.
I think Zaslow could say we.
I feel like I could say
he's the only one who can.
About the BET Awards?
Actually, Chris can say we.
That's right.
Chris can't say
Have
we.
you haven't seen the reports?
He's a season ticket holder, so maybe he can.
Gingers.
That they did say that.
He could say we.
I'm gonna go ahead and stand up and say, nah.
What?
Nah. I revoked it. I don't know who started this.
Science. How about that?
I don't know who started it. Revoked. I also need to have a conversation because I've been skipping a lot of meetings. I haven't been participating in votes.
I've been there.
We let Jimmy Swims in or Teddy Swims? The Swims?
Teddy Swims.
Oh, we let him in?
You let a couple guys in.
He was getting nominated for stuff. I thought we learned our lesson with Justin Timberlake. What are we doing? It takes more than a banger to get let in. I would like to register my disappointment. I don't know about Teddy Swims getting nominated. I don't know much about Teddy Swims. I got to be honest, because I called him Jimmy. But also, I don't know about this.
That's a fine, calling him Jimmy. Zaslow, the reason he gets credit and can say we is because he ended a family vacation early because his team needed him.
By a show of hands, anyone else end their vacation early for the Panthers? No. Anyone else end their vacation early because their team needed them? Anyone? Bueller?
Zaslow can say we.
Bueller reference.
I have heard in my ear set, by the way, I've been told that gazpacho is a cold soup only in summer and only in Spain. So it's a regional soup.
You ever been to Spain in the summer, Dan?
Where it's allowed. I have been, Tony. Swampy.
Son.
Yes, it's very.
Europe in summer. What the are we doing?
That's
Sun.
Right. That's right. That is correct, Tony. Yes, sun is the
No, it's the sun.
It's very hot. Yes,
Not sun. It's
Yes.
the sun.
Venice smells bad. It's so hot. Yes. 20%, huh, Chris? 20% over norm for you last night on fights. 4-minute
All right,
fights.
maybe 30%.
Oh.
Maybe
Oh
30.
wow.
There's never fights in the playoffs. They had a line fight last night, and Chris is trying to tell me, Chippy, happens.
Outside of that line fight, you do see in a blowout,
It's kind of a big thing, though.
like extra like cross checks.
Chris,
Like this does happen. Like I
Chris,
think a lot of people, like Dominique, swooping in for hockey playoffs last night was probably like, holy. Where really it was like outside of that line fight, which is ridiculous. Yes,
Because I'm parachuting in, what I do know about hockey is that the first hockey games were played with frozen cow poop and they're fights.
Yeah.
So like that's only because it's the one thing, I guess also being on there are lots of other sports on ice. It's the only sport other than combat sports where combat is acceptable. So yes, I'm watching hockey last night, and for me, you're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh yeah, they out there hockeying.
Well, but this coverage by Chris is bad in that Kane had more penalty minutes in that game than he had in his previous 17 playoff games combined.
I know Kane.
what am I saying?
He was a dirty player last night. That's not normal. That kind of fight is not normal. You do not risk the ramifications. Look, we just got done with Brindamore telling his team the entire series, do not retaliate on the Panthers. It's stupid. It's how they beat you. Do not get emotional with them. It does not work. So that Brindamore has lost to them consecutively, and he was pleading with his team. Do not react. Do not retaliate. The Panthers do this. It's a style. It's a champion style. They don't care if you do not like them. They're annoying. They bother other teams. They bother other fan bases. They're dirty. They play on the line. They've got players who are unlikable, league-wide reputations as unlikable.
Who wouldn't like them?
And Marchand is sitting there while they're unraveling last night, pointing to his head and their bench, saying, there it is again. We're in there again. We beat you last year, and we're in there again.
Nico Mikkola pointed and laughed at Corey Perry. Pointed and laughed. What a loser.
Jonah Gadjevich over here skating with his tongue out like, ah.
Roy,
Yes.
what is your assessment? You're saying that Edmonton can't play that poorly. I'm saying that that's the best that the Panthers can play. You're also joyless and miserable when he says to you, congratulations, and your response is, it's not over yet.
It's not. They got 2 wins left.
You can't fool me. These guys, they don't know you like I know you. You have taken all your joy and you put it on your head. Today you were like, nah, I can't be happy, but I'm happy. And so subconsciously, when you walked to your closet today in your normal all black
It's a
attire,
happy hat.
you got the happiest
It's loud.
hat
It's loud.
that you could find. So I'm happy for you, Roy. I'm sorry to put you out there, but I know that you're happy, even though that you tried to act like you're too tough.
I've got all his hats like in order of like from like the saddest hat to the brightest, and he just like, we're going over here today.
The only time you were happier was when that, what was it, 18 seconds goal was made and the Panthers were tied and
Little
going into
smirk.
overtime. That was the happiest you've been. That's
There
the
it
only
is.
time you were happy.
There's the smirk.
Again, I was in pain. It was a grimace.
Nope, not a grimace. A smile.
Again, let's focus on Rose, please, instead of Roy, because the Panthers very recently, and this is why this show's annoying, this is why this time of year, the last couple of years, the fan base aggressively turns on us, but also watches more hockey than they used to watch, and is a member of a very small group of people now rooting for the Panthers, because I do not believe that that is happening throughout the country. Now, every team says that every time, right? It's us against the world. Can you guys tell me a region, a country, a place? It's maybe Barkov's, maybe
Finland?
He's so big that there is a place that has embraced the Panthers.
I think Calgary's rooting for the Panthers.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just from hate. Well, that's hate watching Edmonton.
They love Kachuk and they hate Edmonton.
But that's hate. But that's okay. That's rooting for the Panthers, but it's rooting for someone else to suffer. It's not even the same thing. I'm asking you, where are the people that Kachuk is not? They're not going to be allowed to be lovable underdogs. They're not even going to be allowed to be underdogs. Where are the people rooting for them?
I don't know if people are rooting for them, but I do think they've gone above this like small market team. Like I think they've gotten the respect. Like hockey, you listen to other hockey podcasts, and it's not get these Panthers out of my life. It's more in awe of holy shit. This team is just, their goalie's great. Their defense, they can play any style. It's more just, you hear this respect for this team of like, I can't believe this team has built this crazy successful unit.
Which is hateable.
Right, but you don't.
So
I don't know if we've gotten
saying.
there yet.
No, I'm saying that I understand that there was a segment of hockey culture that's like, this Florida team, we hate them, they're from Florida, this isn't hockey. But now it's like, they're beating our golden boy, the one that's supposed to give us the right to say that we watched the greatest hockey player since Gretzky. You can't say it until he wins one. He's standing in the way. And every story, every hero's journey story that we've ever watched or read, it's been about one singular special person overcoming some evil demons around them. And you guys are the evil demons. I hate to tell you this. You're the zombies in the zombie movie. You are not Indiana Jones. You're not Han Solo. I don't know what else.
Harrison Ford thing?
There you go. I mean, I can't do anything modern. I'm old. What do you want me to do?
Those are some old references. This show has now gotten annoying, and here's Zaslow's face. This is Panther fandom right here, and it's bloated, and it's arrogant, and it's telling you after that game.
That's not bloated.
He looks thin.
Handsome.
With a sausage finger, a bratwurst in his left hand, he's pointing at you, and he's saying, that's how you play hockey. Look, we teach it down here in the Everglades. Edmonton, that's how you play hockey. It takes 7 months to get to the arena, and that's after you've parked in the parking lot. The walk is through the Everglades. It requires an airboat. That's where the Stanley Cup resides. You cannot take it from them because that's how you play hockey.
I need that picture back, man. We can't just let that sit up
You
there.
want to wallet size that?
No, I wallet size. I want a poster size of Humpty Dumpty's grandpa. I would love to have that photo. Oh,
Look at that.
How is the top bigger than the bottom?
Yes,
I'm shocked.
it is great.
Why is your chin up there?
Yes.
Confused.
Yes.
Beluga-esque.
Yes. Yes.
You whale face ass.
It is. You could put a narwhal horn on his forehead, and you would create the most impressive animal Dominique has ever been in awe of.
But we all learned one thing, though, last night. That's how you play hockey.
Yeah, that's how you play hockey. Yeah.
You do got a hockey fight ass head. Like that look like that thing could take a butt.
Beluga-esque is a great line.
The Panthers went up 5-1 last night after Aaron Ekblad scored. I get up off the couch in the Zaslow Mansion family room. I'm cheering. My 13-year-old looks at me and goes, sit down. They're up 5-1.
Yeah, I mean, your head does look like 5-1. I love it.
The biggest goal last night was Reinhart, right? Like we're up 2-0. They get a goal early in that second period, and you're like, oh, we're back. Our feel good is gone. And then Reinhart responds immediately with a goal.
Obviously huge, but did Sam Bennett have the greatest shift in the history of Panther hockey?
He absolutely did. Two hits.
2 monster hits. And on the same shift, how about this? It's about to be a 2-on-none breakaway, but we're so confident in Sam Bennett that Eetu Loisterinen passes the puck to Bennett and says, F it, you don't need me. And Bennett scores on the breakaway.
That's Lusty in a nutshell right there. Unselfish.
Good play at the blue line, too. He was the one that broke up that pass leading to the 2-0.